Our senior population continues to age, and while our parents' generation tends to be private and proud, there are things that you as their adult child need to discuss with them now so that you can be better prepared to take care of them and their wishes when the time comes. Hi everyone, I'm Kelli Nold with the Nold Group, and in today's video I'm going to share with you 8 conversations that every adult child needs to have with their senior parent. Scott and I work with seniors every day, and we can tell which families have prepared and which have not, and I promise you, knowing which conversations to have with your parents will make a huge difference. Let's jump in with the first conversation. Wills and living trusts. I cannot stress this one enough. If there's one conversation that all adult children need to have with their parent, it should revolve around the importance of wills and living trusts. Do you know if your parents have one? All seniors need to have some type of will or living trust. These are important legal documents that detail what a person wants to have happen with their money and possessions once they pass away. A living trust is slightly different than a will. A living trust allows the trust maker to control the timing, manner, and amount of distributions over time after the trust maker passes away. Unlike wills, which take effect once a person passes away, the trust becomes effective upon the transfer of assets to them. A will outlines how you want your assets to be distributed after you pass away. Both documents are very important, and knowing where they are can help all parties involved make decisions in the interest of the senior should something happen to them. In my experience, having a copy of these documents, or at least knowing where they are, is very helpful when the time comes. Power of attorney. Almost equally as important as wills and trusts, and usually created at the same time, all seniors should have someone in mind to act as their power of attorney, so they have someone to take care of their affairs if they are unable to make decisions on their own. This can be physical or mental incapacitation set on by an accident or even an illness such as Alzheimer's disease. So what is a power of attorney? A power of attorney is a legal document delegating authority from one person to another. In the document, the maker of the power of attorney, also known as the principal, grants the right to act on the principal's behalf as that person's agent. What authority is granted depends on the specific language contained within the document. The person giving the power of attorney may make it very broad or limit it to certain specific acts. There may be one person who is designated for everything, or multiple individuals assigned to specific categories, such as designating one person to manage health decisions and another to manage financial decisions. Each family is different, and it is imperative to discuss the details and responsibilities before assigning someone as a power of attorney. End-of-life wishes. If I had to rank the conversations from most to least uncomfortable, discussing end-of-life wishes is quite possibly the most uncomfortable conversation that adult children have to have with their senior parents, but it's a very, very important one to have. Many seniors will have what is known as a living will, which proclaims their choices about their end-of-life care, such as a DNR, or otherwise known as a do not resuscitate statement, and also information of whether or not they would want to stay alive in a permanent coma. Living wills are the best way to make sure this information is clear, and at a minimum, adult children should know what their parents' wishes are, especially if they are the healthcare surrogate. Now, a healthcare surrogate is a person that is designated to make medical decisions for your parent if they're unable to make their own decisions. And as a side note, if your loved one has a DNR, you should have speedy access to this document, such as having it on your smartphone, so that you're able to provide it quickly to a doctor or a hospital in the event of sudden emergency. I know the conversations we've gone through so far seem daunting, but when you work with as many senior families as we do, we know how important it is to get ahead of these things up front. And if your aging parent can use our help, please be sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. We are experts in navigating through the challenges that come along with senior-related transitions. Now, let's get back to those other important conversations. Let's talk for a minute about a financial advisor. Many seniors have financial advisors that are managing their money and all their assets. Do your parents have a financial advisor? Adult children or caregivers that may need to oversee the senior's estate in the future should have the information on who that financial advisor is and how to get in contact with them. Moving on to having access to the documents. As you can tell, there are a number of important documents that need to be accessed, including their will, the DNR statement, and even bank information that your parent may need to access at one point or another. If they're unable to locate these documents themselves, it's important that the adult children or trusted representative know how to locate this information. Are they in a safety deposit box or a safe somewhere? In these situations, make sure someone has a key or combination that lets this individual into these secured areas. In today's day and electronic age, I'm going to go back to having easy access to this information. Consider downloading Dropbox or something of the sort to your smartphone or computer and adding these documents into that download so that you can easily access them quickly and easily should you need to. Now moving on to general health information. It's always a good idea to check in with your seniors about their general state of health, especially when the topic isn't brought up very often. When possible, have a list of their medications handy. Many adult children are surprised to find out that they really do not know much about their parents' health conditions, even if they feel they're very involved in the day-to-day ongoings of their parents' lives. Many senior adults are understandably private about their health information. I can remember on several occasions when Scott and I were super surprised to learn only after the fact that one of our parents had surgery without either one of us knowing. In fact, it was one of the main reasons we moved to Florida, so that we could be close by to help out and be more present with our parents. It's important for adult children to check in on their loved one's health. Make sure your parents are visiting the doctor regularly and to double check on all the medication your parent or loved one is taking. A great question to ask mom or dad is if they understand why they're taking each of the medications they have been prescribed. This can give you a clear picture of whether or not they're able to manage their own medications and also insight on that senior's overall health should a medical emergency take place. Long-term care coverage. Some seniors have some sort of long-term care coverage, such as long-term care insurance or a specific savings account meant for long-term care. Long-term care insurance policy benefits will vary based on the type of policy or certificate that has been purchased. What is considered long-term care? Long-term care may be services such as respite care, adult daycare, assisted living or memory care communities, home health care services, hospice, nursing homes, and home and community-based services. Adult children and loved ones should know what finances are in place should that senior need to suddenly transition to assisted living or require home health services, as these services can be very costly. Assisted living. There are many seniors who have thoughts on where they would like to go if they can no longer care for themselves at home. And yes, some seniors will never admit to that. Conversations about long-term care can be uncomfortable, but getting a senior parent involved in the discussion early on can help adult children and their loved ones plan for the future. Some seniors will be open to the idea of assisted living, while others may prefer in-home care. And while not every senior ultimately gets to be in the place they want, knowing what they would prefer can help families be more informed and make better decisions in the future. Consider visiting a handful of communities prior to actually needing to be in one. This way, your parent has a say in where they would like to live, should that need to transition from home to senior living community come quickly. The reality is, no one ever wants something bad to happen to their loved ones, yet it's still important to have these conversations with aging seniors sooner rather than later. Something as seemingly as minor as a slip and fall can easily put a senior in the hospital or rehabilitation, and many families will have wished they had this information handy. Having these conversations early and in a calm manner will help families gather the information they need to keep their seniors' best interests in mind and make sure the family is best prepared for the unexpected should it ever arise. When parents pass suddenly or need to go to the hospital or be moved to assisted living communities, many times these big life changes come up unexpectedly, and while the conversations can be uncomfortable for both the seniors and their children, it is important that all the loved ones are prepared with some specific information on their seniors and their wishes. Having legal documents in order and knowing how to handle a senior's state of affairs can ensure that this individual has all of their wishes met, and it can make life much easier for the family of that senior should something happen. If you found value in this video, please hit those subscribe and like buttons, and don't forget to press the notification button so you know when we add a new informative video. And if you or an elderly parent are looking for help from someone who has expertise specific to seniors, give us a call. We understand because we've been there and have personal and professional experience in the various challenges that come up along with senior transitioning.